Hey, it's the Refined Reseller. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, you'll find out things to buy and things not to buy at estate and garage sales and how to sell them on eBay for a nice profit. So you know what to do. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and let's get started. I want to show you some items that I sold this past week and I generated more than $1,000 in sales. So let's go. The first items I'd like to tell you about are some really cool items I found while rummaging around at an estate sale. I was at the sale, I was looking around, I found this box, I opened it, and they had 150 Kodachrome red border slides. I learned from watching someone else's YouTube videos that these Kodachrome red border slides are valuable. I really had no idea that they were, but I saw them, I knew what they were, so I bought all of them. I got them home, I started looking through them. Most of them were from North Carolina, from the mountains in North Carolina, but there were some that were of the Zulu Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans, Louisiana from 1957. And I knew that these were worth something. So I put them on eBay and I sold them very quickly. So here's the first one. This one sold for $39.99. It is of the Zulu King saluting the onlookers. And if you notice, he has his spectre or whatever you call that thing in one hand. In the other hand, he has a beer. So this one sold for $39.99. Here's another one of a crew member holding a coconut. The crew of Zulu is known for taking coconuts, customizing them, and throwing them to the crowd. And if you get a Zulu coconut, it's like a really cool thing. And people hang on to these things for years and years and years. Again, this is from 1957. The next one I sold for $24.99. And this is of one of the Zulu members. And I think he's playing a drum. I'm not sure. It looks like he's walking in the street and he is not on a float. But again, another one that sold for $24.99. Here's one of Canal Street around Christmas time. I sold a lot of 6 of these for $19.99. Then I sold this one. This was a Mardi Gras parade in Midtown, New Orleans, and this one sold for $19.99. Finally, I sold a lot of 4 slides from Ducktown, North Carolina. I have no idea where that is, but I had 4 of them. I grouped them together, and they sold for $9.99. So out of the 150 slides that I bought, I have sold 14 of them, and it has generated total sales of $155, and I have 136 slides left. So it just goes to show you, if you'll spend some time looking at YouTube, watching eBay sellers who are experienced and watching their videos and finding out what they buy and what they sell, you will learn a lot. If I had not seen that video, I probably would have not bought these slides because I didn't really know they were worth anything. But again, they're from the 1950s, vintage Kodachrome red border slides. Look out for them. Okay, moving on. I saw this pair of Salomon women's trail running shoes. They were not in the box, but they were new. They still had the tags, and they sold for $49.99. Next up, a pair of Air Max 90 sneakers. These were in the box. They were not new, but they were like new, and I sold these for $69.99. I made a video of buying these. If you'd like to check that video out, simply just click the link right above, and it'll take you right to it. Next, I bought this BASF reel-to-reel lot of tapes. I bought 70 of these tapes at a garage sale. I did not pay very much for them. I sold this lot of 10 tapes for $89.99. This is the 3rd lot I've sold, so I have 4 lots left, and it's been a really good seller for me and a very profitable item. Next is this system sensor fire alarm. I bought this at an estate sale, a business that was actually going out of business. I bought a bunch of fire alarms and other safety equipment, and this alarm right here sold for $49.99. Next, I bought some ties at an estate sale. I bought a box of 40 ties. I think I've sold about 12 of them now. They turned out to be very valuable ties. This one is a Tom Ford tie that sold for $59.99. Believe it or not, the retail on this tie is about $179. I also sold this Brooks Brothers tie for $29.99. And I sold this tie right here. This is a Stefano Ricci tie. I sold it for $79.99. I think I said in the last video I made about the ties, about buying them, that I have bought ties a lot of times over the years and have not done very well with them. It just so happened this lot of ties that I bought were valuable. So I guess I kind of lucked out. I was really happy about that. Next, let's move on to this vintage set of plates. These are 3 plates. It's from the 1960s, maybe 70s. It has what is called an atomic pattern to it. They sold for $19.99. And what's really cool about this, I bought this at an estate sale. I bought some other items, and she actually gave me these plates. I paid absolutely nothing for them. Next, I have this Inspector George DVD set. I bought this at a garage sale. This is a British series, and I got $39.99. I didn't know anything about them, so I did look at my eBay app. I scanned the barcode, and I saw where they sold well, so I bought them, and sure enough, they sold $39.99. Here's another nice item. This is a Las Vegas Country Club vest. I bought this on a vacation in Florida, and I have a video about that trip. You can check it out by clicking the link above. I bought about 5 items at a garage sale, and this item sold for $39.99. Here is a Nike Air Max backpack. I have not really sold a lot of these backpacks because I really haven't tried, but I'm finding out they're a pretty popular item, and you can find them quite often. This was a Nike Air Max, so I bought it, and it did sell for $29.99. So I am going to try to look out for more of these because they do sell. Next up is this vintage 1974 Sugar Bowl pennant from New Orleans. The LSU Tigers were playing. I think they were playing Oklahoma. Again, a vintage item. I bought it at an estate sale, and I sold it for $49.99. Next up is this vintage butterfly lantern. I got this at an estate sale. I actually bought 4 of these. This is the second one that I have sold, and I sold this one for $64.99. I did have it listed higher. It wasn't selling, so I lowered the price, and I took $64.99 for it. Next up is this Bear Paw pair of women's black boots. Got this at a garage sale for a really cheap price. They were new in the box. No, I'm sorry, they were not new, but they were in the box. They were almost new, and they sold for $29.99. Okay, these next items I would like to show you are some items that I have had for quite some time. They were not selling. They were shoes and clothing. So I decided to do a 5-day sale, and I marked down everything 50%. Now, you may think, what are you doing? You had a sale and put everything on sale for half price? Yes, I did. Because they had just been taking up space, they had not been selling, and I said, you know what, I really need to move these products. Even though I cut the price in half, I still made a profit on each of these, so let me share those with you. The first is this Gucci women's pair of shoes. They're leather shoes, they are in the box. I took $39.99. Just because they're Gucci doesn't mean they're really going to sell. I had them for quite some time, and I was happy to get rid of them for $39.99. Next up is this pair of Tom's girls shoes. They sold for $14.99. Then I have these Tom's boys shoes that sold for $12. The story behind that is I have a friend who owns a shoe store, and I walked in there one day. I went into her stock room, and there were 20 pairs of shoes that were just sitting up on a shelf. They were dusty. I could tell they had been there for quite some time. And I asked her if she would sell me all the shoes. And she did. I got all 20 pairs of shoes for $10 a piece. I paid $200. And they were new in the box. And some of the shoes were retailing for over $200. The bottom line is, out of the 20 pair that I bought, I've only sold 6 pair. And it's been about 6 months. So for whatever reason, Those shoes are not moving well for me. I was more than happy to sell them for 50% off. You know, I probably broke even on both pair of these shoes, but it's okay. I put some money in my pocket and I got some cash flow going, and I sold them. Next up is this Fat Farm men's shirt. I bought this at Goodwill, paid $5 for it. It sold for $14.99, and it took quite a while to sell. Next up, this Brooks Brothers sweater. It sold for $12.49, which is not a lot of money. I paid $5 for it at Goodwill. Again, had it for probably 8 months. And it sold. It's a sweater. It's the summertime, but hey, it did sell. Next up, a Wrangler Western shirt, a men's shirt. This is kind of cool. It's a Western shirt, but it has a Hawaiian theme. I thought it was unusual, so I bought it at Goodwill for $5. Again, stayed for sale for about 8 months. Finally, lowered the price, cut it in half, and took $14.99. Next up is this Tommy Bahama shirt. It sold for $9.99. I wish it would have sold for $99.99, but it didn't. It sold for $9.99, and this is a perfect example of what not to buy. You can watch all these videos by these other sellers and they will tell you how great Tommy Bahama clothing is, because it's very expensive. I mean, this shirt probably costs $79, $89. The problem with it is it's a solid color. It's just another shirt out there that is like this teal color. It is Tommy Bahama. I had it on eBay for sale for about 8 months, and I did not sell it. I think I started it at $39.99. I lowered it to $29.99. It didn't sell. To $19.99. It didn't sell. Finally put it on sale at half price, and it sold for $9.99. The problem is I paid $5 for it. So I might have made $1 or so on this shirt. So again, an example of what not to buy. Anytime you're out there sourcing, if you see a shirt that is just a solid color, it's probably going to take quite some time to sell. On the other hand, if you find an item that has this really cool, vibrant, different pattern on it, and it's, you know, costs $5 or $6 and has a good brand name, I would suggest that you buy it because of the pattern and the multi-colors. Kind of stay away from these shirts that are just one color. So that's it for today. $1,000 in sales in a week on eBay. I did it, and you can do it too. And if you'd like to find out the items that I have for sale on my eBay store, it is definitely a maybe. So please check it out. It's definitely a maybe. And do like me. Buy low, sell high, and if you like this video, please subscribe, and I will see you next time.